Lights.
I hate my life.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us.
The only deliverance the other nations are going to get is deliverance right into slavery. They're going to be our slaves, thus saith the Lord.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us. Why? God, why?
Jeremiah 30:16 tells you every last one of the other nations, which are non-Israelites, are going into captivity. They're going into slavery underneath the Israelites when the Israelites go back into rulership. When is the Israelites going to go back into rulership? When the Lord comes. That's what he's coming to do. He's coming to set up the Israelites in rulership, beginning with King David. And when I say rulership, meaning the planet Earth, we're going to be ruling the planet Earth in righteousness. After he puts down the wicked. Who's the wicked? The Edomites, which are in power right now. Who are the Edomites? The so-called white man.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us. Why? God, why?
Praise the Lord, for he is greatly to be feared. He removed the wicked and put us righteous in power.
To victory and the dawn of a new era.
And when I say rulership, meaning the planet Earth, we're going to be ruling the planet Earth in righteousness. After he puts down the wicked. Who's the wicked? The Edomites, which are in power right now. Who are the Edomites? The so-called white man.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord Yahweh. Praise ye the Lord.
Beginning with those top banking families, which happen to be so-called white people. We're talking about the Rothschilds, Rockefellers. We're talking about the DuPonts. We're talking about the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, and families like that. Okay, so when Yahushua comes back, he's going to take away their rulership, which they're enjoying right now. That's the long and short of it, of this ministry, man.
Pace, James. I need 200 pounds by sunset.
Yes, sir. I'm on it, Master.
Why did God make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
Why did God make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
Praise the Lord, for he is greatly to be feared. He removed the wicked and put us righteous in power.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and their sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right, what I want to get into this morning is dealing with, a new system, all right, that these devils, okay, are rolling out, and more job cuts, and what we see happening, is these devils, are pushing an atmosphere of desperation, a scarcity, Salaki, of poverty, okay, which, is going to make people more desperate for a solution, because in order to bring out this new system, well, they have to make this new system, okay, seem like a hero against the old system. That's why the old system is being villainized, from, the technology standpoint, it's old and outdated. Okay, from the human factor, you know, people can't be trusted. That's why AI, is going to be, the saving grace. Okay, going into this new system. Okay, so what we're seeing happening, all right, is that these devils, they're causing confusion, they're causing distress, they're causing desperation, they're causing scarcity. Okay, all for the point, okay, of introducing the world, all right, to a new system that's going to solve everything. Okay, which this new system is completely, all right, tyrannical. Okay, this is going to be digital tyranny. Okay, at its best. Okay, it's going to be demonic. All right, it's going to be more oppressive than any other system the world has ever seen because of the amount of control that these devils want. Okay, so we're going to get into these things. First, let's get a few precepts. Okay, then I got a couple videos to go into. All right, so let's go here to the book of Psalm, chapter 10. Okay, in verse 3, it says, Psalms 10:3 said, "For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorred." Okay, so it said the wicked boasted in his heart's desire, and that's why you see this devil, pushing, okay, and marketing his technology and his new system that he wants to bring, okay, as if it's some type of upgrade, like it's for the improvement, okay, of life on earth, and nothing that the devil has brought to the table has been for the improvement of life in the earth. Nothing. Okay. Now you go into the Hebrew word halal, which goes into praise. All right. You see that to shine, to be boastful. All right. Because we boast in our power. We praise our power. Every time we boast in our power, it's praising our power. Well, this devil is doing this for his new world order. He's boasting and he's praising this AI technology. He's boasting in it because that's his heart desire is to set up an AI infrastructure which he control and link everybody in the world, okay, the survivors of, this great judgment, okay, the survivor of the tribulation. His mind, he wants to push civil unrest, for the sake of depopulation, okay, and then after the tribulation, he wants to establish, okay, his new world order, okay. That's his heart's desire. You see, he wants people to be merged, okay, with his technology, okay, and he controls the technology, which means he controls the people, okay. So he's boasting in this, okay. And what is it causing him to do? Because you go down to this, all right, it says to act madly, to act like a madman, okay. And you see how the devil is moving to establish this new world order. He's acting like a madman, okay, going to war with everybody. Domestically, he's at war. Okay, internationally, he's at war. Okay, internally, different. These Edomites are divided on every level. Okay, so this man is acting like a madman to trying to establish his heart's desire. Okay, and we ain't seen nothing yet. All right, he's really going to unleash. Okay, in the times to come. Okay, and we're seeing the build up to that. All right, he's going to get very draconian to enforce this new world order because this is his heart's desire, man. Okay, you see, it's bigger than just one event or one thing, that we see. Okay, all of it is leading to this devil, okay, rolling out a new system as a solution. Right now, we're in the phase of him engineering chaos. Okay, and the phase that we in now is this devil just constantly engineering chaos. Okay, the food stamps, the job loss, the ICE troops. Okay, and this devil, war with Venezuela, war with Nigeria. Okay, still, he's rumors about, him aiding the small hats and attacking Iran. So all he's doing now is engineering the chaos. Okay, and while he's engineering the chaos, he's setting up, okay, a whole new system. Okay, that's going to be the solution to the chaos he created. Okay, so let's go here and then we'll go to the video. All right, when you go to the book of Job, chapter 21, all right, in verse 14, it says, therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. Okay, and this new system is about completely separating humanity from the Most High. Okay, this is why he wants to get into that's why he's getting into this Neuralink technology. You see, he wants to control spirits. You see, it's way bigger than all right, a snap benefit. Okay, this nigga wants to control your spirit. You see, he doesn't want the Most High to be reverenced. See, all the praise, all right, that's supposed to go to the Most High, he wants to redirect it to him through his technology. Okay, this is far more diabolical, okay, than the left and the right. What this devil got going on. These are just tools to get to where he wants to get to. Okay, it says, who is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? And yeah, he wants to say, look, I can bless you. You know, you don't have to stick to those, all right, those outdated traditions of religion and a God in the sky. Okay, you can do as thou wilt and be blessed by me. Okay, and this is what he's been pitching for a while. That's why you see wickedness is rewarded in this society. That's him saying, look, you can do what you want and still be blessed by me, even with the benefits. Okay, what was he incentivizing women to do? To do what you want and be blessed by me. You don't gotta stick to the order. You know, you was created to be a helpmeet for the man. You don't have to stick to that. You can operate outside of that and still be blessed by me. Okay, that's what he's been conditioning the minds of the people. All right, to be, man. Okay, so let's go here. All right, let's go to this video here. All right, she's gonna go into it. This is the little chick Whitney Webb. All right, so they are planning a complete. All right, they are planning a complete financial lockdown. So let's let this play. Let me go back.
As the new form of government-issued identification credentials. And they're essentially all based on your biometric data, which can be your fingerprints, your face, the iris of your eyeball. And the idea is essentially to collect all of that data and have it housed or have it tied directly to your digital ID, so your physical ID will be mapped to the digital ID. Digital IDs are not really a separate project from CBDCs and this new digital financial system. And UN documentation and also documentation from the Bank of International Settlements, they very overtly state that CBDCs and digital IDs are meant to go together, and without digital IDs, the CBDC digital finance system cannot exist. One of the reasons it can't exist without that is because of the KYC functionality built into this digital financial system. They have the know your customer protocols. They have to know who you are. And so they want to have your wallet tied to a digital ID and have that digital ID be mapped to your physical ID through the biometric data collection.
One blink and your identity unlocks a programmable wallet. That's the latest message from writer and journalist Whitney Webb. Governments and global institutions are standardizing digital IDs built on biometrics, then wiring those IDs to your money. In this model, your face, fingerprints, or iris confirm every transaction and gate access to basic services. The stated goal is inclusion through Know Your Customer, or KYC rules, and safer payments. The design also concentrates power, since the same ID can switch your wallet on or off. But it doesn't end there. The next phase links identity, wallets, and policy in one infrastructure. Make sure to stick around.
Identity, all right, wallets and policy. Okay, so this digital ID, you know, which they've been talking about this a lot lately since You know, they're rolling it out in the UK. Okay, and this digital ID, you know, this is phase. This is one step closer to the MOTB, because the digital ID is meant to what? Okay, link everything you got, okay, into one centralized database, and that's where Palantir comes in. Okay, so with the digital ID, you're going to need an ID to get on the internet. Okay, and your behavior on the internet, okay, is linked to what? A social credit score. Okay, which they already have these things in China. Okay, and China is a big population. You see, so they're already rolling this thing out in a big population. Remember, they plan to depopulate. Okay, which is what will make this thing easier, all right, to implement. Okay, and transition into with a smaller population. Okay, so going into, you know, the digital ID, all right, where they can have more control, all right, over the narratives. Okay, because instead of just giving you a strike on YouTube and then you got, you know, 17 other channels, you know, that you got, well, guess what? Now they're not with the digital ID, they're going to be able to completely block you off the internet, because you're going to have an ID to log on into the internet. Okay, no more the anonymous and all these different, okay, channels that's not linked to an actual person. No, they can block you completely, not just your channel, you. Okay, and guess what? Now your your digital ID is hooked to your bank account, so now they can deny you access to your bank account. Okay, how easy would it be to hit people with a RICO to freeze all their assets when everything is tied to a digital ID? Okay, how much more are people going to be willing to conform if everything that you have and own is tied to a digital ID? Okay, which is controlled by a central database, which is controlled by who? The elites. Okay, so this whole thing with the digital ID is just another step forward to more control, more centralized government. Okay, and to get people, you know, prepared. Because see, the digital ID, you know, might be in your phone or whatever, but see, now it's already going to be a problem with that, because people can just leave their phone, because they want people to loot and go crazy in these stores. That's another reason to have digital ID. So when you walk into these stores now, okay, you're already identified, this person is in this store. Okay, but then people can leave their phones and it's like, okay, we got a problem now. We got another problem. You see, people leaving their phones and going into these stores and moving around without their digital ID. Okay, pretty much like a hall pass, a digital hall pass. Okay, to function in the earth. You see, so what's going to be the next solution? Okay, to the digital ID, the CHIP. Put the technology in you, so no one can move around. Okay, and not have their digital identification on them. All right. So this devil, all right, he's creeping to this new system, you know. So expect, you know, all these events, okay, to play out, you know, that we're getting ready to see. All right. Even this whole thing with ICE, you know, people asking about, you know, ICE not being all right, not being made to identify themselves. You know, well, they can spin that and be like, look, now, okay, these ICE agents are going to have digital ID, so they, you know, so it's going to be all type of ways that they're going to spin it and making it seem as if they're solving the problem. Okay, but it's herding people into this new system, okay, of complete, all right, control. Okay, so let's play it again.
Until the end of the video, as Whitney Webb maps how digital IDs and central bank rails converge, and why that matters for your day-to-day freedom. Before we jump into it, Just a quick reminder, only a small percentage of you watching are actually subscribed. If you're getting value from the videos, hit that subscribe button. It's free, it supports the channel, and you can always change your mind later. Now let's hear Whitney's breakdown of the digital ID and CBDC blueprint.
So there's different efforts to make digital IDs either as NFTs, non-fungible tokens. There's also the efforts of Sam Altman of OpenAI and his WorldCoin project, whereby you scan your iris, you give them the biometric credentials of your eyeball. They give you a unique identifier, a digital ID, and it's inherently tied to a digital wallet. That is the same model the UN is using. They've already implemented it for refugees getting food assistance from the World Food Program. It's called Building Blocks. It's on blockchain. It involves refugees scanning their irises. In order to buy food or receive their rations, they have to check out of a grocery store style place in the refugee camp, and they check out biometrically with an eyeball scan. And then the amount of food they have, the monetary value of that is subtracted from their digital wallet connected to their digital ID and their iris. It doesn't matter what country you're in or whether you're part of BRICS or part of the collective.
Now remember, she said in UN they're already rolling this out amongst the refugees who getting food assistance. Okay, and what do you have going on now? All right, this uproar. Okay, this this SNAP. Okay, situation. Okay, SNAP, HUD, whatever, government assistance. So even with what's going on with SNAP, all right, they're saying, okay, we're going to send 50% of the SNAP benefits, but wait, now they got to go back into the computer and see who get what. Okay, and the people that work for SNAP are like, look, this is going to take months. This is going to be catastrophic trying to do this. Trying to deal with all those cases and to see who get what and to see who being compliant with, the 20 hours of working and the different stipulations. So don't be surprised if, it takes a digital ID to get back into this food assistance, man, into the HUD benefits. Don't be surprised if they require digital ID. Look, we found a way to simplify these things, So don't be surprised if they act like this big back and forth and they got, people complaining like, man, we can't do this and it's too hard. We got to do this. This system we got to do something else. Okay. And bam, digital ID. This will solve everything. This will keep everything updated. AI do, routine checks and making sure things are updated. AI can do the paperwork. AI can do new cases, and digital IDs is going to make things much easier. No more worrying about, being cut off from your benefits. You see, don't be surprised if the devil come from that angle, man. Okay, but when she said that they're using this already, okay, for refugees, okay, in Europe, all right, a digital ID, that monitors what their food ration is. Okay, because government assistance is nothing but government rationings, okay, of housing and food. Okay, so they'll be surprised that the first wave of digital ID, okay, is the government assistance program. Okay, but we'll see. Just speculate, speaking as a man.
West, this is being rolled out across the board.
So what entities are pushing this interoperability?
One of the main reasons for this coordinated global push to develop digital IDs is because it's deemed essential to the entire Sustainable Development Agenda, which is the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, also known as Agenda 2030. And the specific part dealing with digital IDs is within SDG 16, which is about building peaceful and inclusive societies. One of the indicators of SDG 16, 16.9, calls for legal identification for everyone in the world from the time they're born, essentially. The leading alliance that was launched under the auspices of the UN to accomplish that is known as ID 2020 and has since been folded into what is called the Digital Impact Alliance, which essentially has the same funders and founders as ID 2020. So ID 2020, the UN and other stakeholders in this particular sphere often argue that the reason this is necessary is because of what they call the identity gap. And the identity gap is the claim that the lack of digital ID is preventing people, mainly the world's poor, from accessing essential services, whether it's
The identity gap. All right. And the people's poor from, having access to essential services, man. Okay. And this man shows you every second he doesn't give a damn about the poor. Okay. But then he pops out with technology and say, look, this is make sure the poor have access to essential needs. Okay.
banking, whether it's education, whether it's healthcare. They claim the only way for these people to be able to access these services is to onboard them to these identity schemes. So what they mean by essential services is, they say without these forms of recognized identity, people in the world, mainly the world's poor, are unable to access bank accounts, unable to access healthcare, unable to access government services, a variety of things, because they don't have ID or they don't have bank accounts, things of that nature. So in order to allow everyone to access all of these things and include them, hence the frequent word of inclusion in all these documents, they say digital ID is the necessary way to bridge this identity gap. One of the main words they use to market this stuff is equity and inclusion. The idea that we need to include everybody in these new systems. But if you don't participate in digital ID, you won't have a legally recognized identity, you won't have rights, you won't be able to access services without it. So it's being framed as promoting inclusion, but the system itself is inherently exclusionary and has been used to track and surveil people, to link people to, essentially all their activities, what they say online in some of the countries that have rolled this out, and has been used to facilitate human rights abuses. So it's not exactly as inclusive as they like to claim. It's inclusive in the sense that we want everyone equally included in our new system that we're creating, our new control system, fundamentally.
You see? So they're herding people into a new system. All right. And they're pushing, chaos and, desperation and scarcity. Okay. They're shrinking the job market. And, okay. So UBI, see, when you're making 80, 75, 80,000 a year. Okay. And they're talking about a UBI. Okay. Where you're going to be making 30,000 a year. For doing nothing. Well, you like, I'd rather, work, but then they shrinking the job market. Okay. And there's not many places to work. Then UBI sounds great to someone who hasn't had a check in 2 months, 3 months. Okay. So they're creating an atmosphere to where when they introduce these things to the public, okay, it's going to be a saving grace. You see? So let's go here. I looked it up real quick with the chat, just dealing with the digital ID. Okay. Get this precept the brother got. This is the book of 2 Corinthians 2:11. It said, at least Satan, this is the brother Bayon Yashala. It said, at least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Because we fully understand what his devil is headed with. Okay. And just like, as we have become familiar with how this devil operates, okay, he loves to present his wickedness, okay, as help, as aid, as an upgrade. You see, as if he has the people's, best interest in mind. Okay, if a brother can post that in what's that, Psalms, the words in his mouth were smoother than butter. Okay, but war was in his heart. If a brother can post that, because he's going to introduce this new system, in the midst of the chaos that he's engineering, and he's going to present it with these smooth words. Okay, Now I looked it up. Just looked up something real quick. This is I said, could digital ID be used to merge people with emerging AI infrastructure for a more, all right, for more of a centralized control type government? All right, short answer, yes. A digital ID tied into a powerful AI-enabled infrastructure could be used by a government to increase centralized control and surveillance. But whether that happens depends on design, choices, laws, institutions, and countermeasures. I can explain how it will work in a broad, all right, term, all right, the risk, all right. So it says how a digital ID plus AI infrastructure could enable centralized control high level. Okay. It says unique persistent identity, a digital ID that reliably maps, all right, to each person biometrics, government registry, SIM linked ID, removes, all right, anonymity, all right, autonomy, okay, across services. Okay. So no more being, all right, autonomous, okay, unknown. Okay. So now the internet is going to be a place that's regulated, okay, by AI. Okay. And you're going to be identified, okay, by a digital ID. So no more of these random, pages and all these different pages not linked to a person, okay, which they can loosely do it now, but see, they want to tighten down on it to where they have complete control over who's doing what, who's saying what. Okay, see what these devils want, they never want, all right, a uprising like now, where people are speaking against them, people are calling them out. Okay, people going into their history, people going into, what they're getting ready to do. And you see, they don't never want this to happen again. You see, so they want to silence the rebellion through censorship, okay, and through excluding people, from the system, and also, through what setting the purge atmosphere as well. That's in the play. All right, it says data uh, aggregation. It says that the ID is used across finance, health, travel, utilities, social media, and government services. A central system can aggregate behavior and history into a comprehensive profile. Okay, so this man wants the earth to be babysitted by AI. Okay, so your behavior, all right, your history, your travel, your finance, your health, your utilities, social media, all these things, okay, are being monitored and recorded. Okay, and there's gonna be a score for it. You see, it says AI analytics and uh, inference. All right, machine learning can detect patterns, predict behavior, going into thought crime. Okay, predict behavior. See, AI is going to be programmed to be biased as hell. Okay, you see AI. You see this this what you call scientific racism. Okay, that it's going to be programmed into AI. Okay, and you think that because Esau pushing like, well, AI is just this non-biased entity that just works off data and facts. No, AI is going to be, okay, programmed to be extremely biased, man. Okay, and towards who? All right, it says machine learning can detect patterns, predict behavior, score risk, flag dissent. All right, automate targeting for investigation and prioritize. All right, prioritize enforcement. Okay. So who you think is going to be the top of the priority when it comes to enforcement and exterminate? Okay, you tribes. You see, it says automated enforcement coupled with control points, payments, travel flags, account freezes, access permission, decisions by AI systems can directly restrict people's activities with little human oversight. Okay, this is what this man wants to. This is the foundation of his new system. Okay, AI. All right, having the oversight of the masses. Okay, being able to stop you from traveling. Okay, stop you from making payments, account freezes. Okay, how much of this you buy, how much of that you buy. Okay, your money doesn't work outside of this radius. AI has detected that you, okay, you went to the next state without, you don't have the social credit score to go to the next state, to go to the beach. Okay, so you're driving, you're on the interstate. Think you can go to the beach for the weekend. Okay, you get a message that your money, okay, doesn't work outside of a certain radius. You see, this is the type of system that this man, okay, is rolling out. All right, and he wants you to comply. He wants you to be satanic, man. Just like now, because you look at the people, all right, that are celebrities and that are rewarded. They're satanic. They're completely satanic. You see, but he wants to bring this system out amongst everybody. In order for you to be rewarded, you have to be satanic. You have to participate. That's why Jake, all right, you go back and you be like, damn, why Jake always went into idolatry, man? Okay, amongst these heathens, because there were certain perks. Okay, there were certain, business deals Jake would get, for participating in. That's why you seen the kings, especially of the northern tribes, they was heavy into idolatry, dealing with the Assyrians, because they opened them up to certain trade deals and business deals. Okay, so this devil, he already has a system that rewards people for being satanic. Okay, and this new system, that's amongst celebrities. All right, but the new system, he wants to bring that to the common person. Okay, the people that satanic now, all right, they're open up to the most perks and rewards of this society. Okay, but then with this digital ID, he's going to be able to track everyone's participation. Okay, in this satanic system, man. Okay, and it says in IoT, Internet of Things, AI can provide near real-time situational awareness tied to identities. Okay, it says centralized policy engines can make eligibility for benefits, travel, or business licensing conditional or compliance. All right, detected by the system. Yeah, so you go try to get a government contract. Well, guess what? Your social credit score, all right, is going to be factored in. Okay, you go try to get a job or whatever. Well, your social credit score will be factored in. You see, and it's just all type of things the devil can do, but just throwing out the concept of this system. Okay, and basically it's to get people to just continue to pledge allegiance to Satan, man. So let's segue here. All right, I got this because he just constantly slashing the job market. Okay, he's self-sabotaging his own system. Okay, so let's go here. Brother got that. This is the brother Kazak Bun Yahweh, Psalms 55:21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay, so this devil, he's going to present, okay, this new system with smooth words. Okay, but he fully understands that the type of control that this is going to give him. Okay, the type of tyranny he's going to be capable of. This is going to give the devil, okay, the ability to be a tyrant on a level like never before. Okay, but he's going to present it with smooth words. Okay, everything that he presents, okay, he always presents it with smooth words. Okay, he presented feminism with smooth words. Okay, government assistance with smooth words. Okay, he presented, all right, nigger culture with smooth words. You see, as if these things were beneficial. You see, so everything that this man has presented, especially to the tribes, has been with smooth words. But it was a war tactic. Okay, this man was waging a war. Okay, so this new system that he's going to present is going to be with smooth words. Okay, well, it's a war tactic, man. Okay, to herd you into the digital prison. You see. Yep, let's get this. Brother got this. Brother Kazak Bun Yahweh, Proverbs 26 and 25. It said, when he speak of fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Okay, so when this devil, whenever Esau gets to speaking as if he's there to help, okay, you know this devil is up to something, man. You see, whenever he presents anything to you as a form of help or aid, okay, he is all type of madness tied to it. Okay, and if people don't find out until it's too late. You see, and see, people have been dependent on the devil for so long. You know, the damage has been done. You know, people that have been dependent on this man, and they trusted this man, and their whole life is wrapped around, this man helping them in his aid. Okay, and see, this what the gospel has given us is a perspective outside of this devil. Okay, an expectation. Okay, beyond. Okay, this current system. You see. So let's go here. Let's play this. All right, because that's all we're hearing about too, is that jobs are constantly being cut. Okay, and why are they being cut? Let's listen.
Now, millions of workers around the United States are being put on notice that we better have a good fourth quarter or your job may not be there come 2026. I even got a email, and I'm going to read a little bit of this email to you, but this is from a not a high-level executive from Walmart, but somebody that is I think they're like a regional manager to a Walmart. And so what they're saying is scary because they're already expecting layoffs, not just in December, which they're going to have some, according to this person, but come 2026, Walmart is anticipating they will be laying people off as a result of a slow Q4. So, I want to show you something. Look at this. It says, the nation's largest employers are putting their workers on notice. It says, Amazon is cutting jobs in the efficiency drive, and Walmart says its headcount will stay flat as artificial intelligence disrupts some roles. What we are seeing right now and the threat that is coming is that Walmart, Amazon, Target, Costco, and the list goes on and on. But all these big companies are now threatening workers, saying that you better understand how artificial intelligence will make your job easier and you can use it to actually become more efficient, or your job is going to go to somebody else. I want to read something to you. Look at this right here. It says, Amazon and Walmart, the nation's 2 largest private employers, swelled with hundreds of thousands of new workers in recent years as they battled for larger slices of consumer pocketbooks. Amazon said in 2021 that its workforce had grown to more than 1.6 million people and boasted of being the largest job creator in the U.S. Walmart said last year that plans for 150 new stores would create jobs across the United States. And that is true. They are trying to, so Walmart, for instance, is opening up new stores, but also closing others. We had one right here in Federal Way just shut down, and this is a store I went to all the time. Well, years ago. And the interesting thing right now is Walmart is realizing that going the e-commerce route makes more sense because people are pulling up their phones, looking at things on their phone, and even Walmart themselves have a new kind of new technology, well, to them, but it's something that I think Wayfair has been using for several years, and it's
So here it is. These companies are telling their employees, that they better have, a profitable, end of the year, fourth quarter. But it's like, how can they control that? How can they control that people don't have, the money that they used to spend? Okay. How the hell is it on them? Okay. To make the company profitable. Okay. In this type of economy, man. And see, this is the gaslight, okay, of Esau, as if, it's something the employees are not doing while numbers are down, you know. But no, man, the economy is through. Okay, and here it is. This is the season where you have, every year, companies are hiring for seasonal work. Well, this year, all right, people are being fired going into this season, okay, of the holidays, man. Okay, showing you, all right, that this thing is being this thing is collapsing. Okay, this thing called America, all right, this old economy is collapsing and it's being collapsed intentionally. Okay, so people, are having to live with a constant threat of what the hell is their company finna do. Job security in America is shot. Day for day, man, all these headlines coming out, and like I say, it's all the psyops. Part of the psyops to create anxiety, okay, and distrust, okay, in the system. So when they roll out the new system, okay, the new system, it's gonna sound like a foolproof, okay, plan. Like, okay, this it. You see? So they're sabotaging the old system, okay, so they can glorify this new system that they want to roll out. Okay.
using artificial intelligence. Home Depot uses the same thing, where you can pick out some carpet on your phone, you can go to the room, take a picture of the room, and the AI will actually put that carpet or the flooring in the room. They'll do the same thing with a refrigerator, a stove, a dishwasher. You can even design cabinets, right? It's just great. Well, I want to show you something. Look at this. It says, Walmart announces change for holiday shopping. I want to show you what some of their changes are. Look at this right here. It says what to know. On October 31st, 2025, Walmart announced 5 new shopping tools that are built into the Walmart app, which it hopes will make both in-store and online shopping easier. When I read this to you, again, keep in mind that Walmart's starting to do this now, where you can actually go and find different items, make it easier, don't have to walk through the store. Well, guess what? That's exactly what e-commerce allows us to do. We go right to the website, we type in what we're looking for, it brings up a whole list, we click buy, we check out, we're done. It shows up at our doorstep. I want to show you this. So right here, these in-store savings tool. This feature flags products that are on sale, including Black Friday deals, rollbacks, and clearance items in a customer's local Walmart store. Great, we can do that all online. Enhanced search and navigation. When in their local Walmart, customers can use this feature to search for an item, check if it's in stock, and discover its exact location within the store. Guess what? Home Depot does that as well. It's pretty simple, okay? But here's a couple big ones. This one right here. 3D and augmented reality shopping. Shoppers can use AI-driven augmented reality to view home decor and holiday scenes in 3D. For instance, With Shop the background, customers can click on items within online images and add them to their cart. And with Dynamic Showroom, they can view specific rooms, a moody dining room, and swap out furnishings to match their taste. Okay. So again, simple. Okay, they're using AI. This is the reason why I bring this to your attention, because what Walmart CEO just said. Look at this. It says the Walmart CEO on AI, every job we've got is going to change.
Wish you had a professional business address and phone number instead of your home address and personal number? Are you looking to register?
Now, why does this matter to you if you don't work at Walmart? Because what Walmart does and what Amazon does, these are the two largest employers in the United States, okay, for private employers. The issue with when they make a change, when they do layoffs, what happens is people then, or other companies see that, oh, Walmart is using AI in this way. This is the reason why. Amazon's using AI like this, and they're having this type of success. We should follow. Here's the problem. Right now, there are many companies that are trying to use Amazon, and specifically AWS, and you'll probably see articles over the next several weeks and probably over the next several months where they're trying to buy more compute from Amazon. And I'm not getting to the specifics here, but Amazon is not able to provide what a lot of these companies need yet, but they are going to. They have restructured, they're shifting, they're spending more money on AWS because that's bringing in more money. Okay, that's Amazon Web Services. With that said, as they put more money into Amazon Web Services and all these other companies are using AWS, this is only going to make artificial intelligence more powerful, meaning more companies are going to use it, more companies will see success in it, and when that happens, there will be more layoffs. I want to read something to you.
So yeah, it's constant, with these corporations. There's been a theme for the last few months, is AI job replacement, companies downsizing, So what we're seeing, all right, this devil, he's creating an atmosphere, all right, of panic, okay, and say distrust, uncertainty, okay, and he's going to roll out this new system as a form of stability. So he's creating instability, and he's going to roll out this new system, okay, which is going to give him way more control of each individual, okay. He's going to roll it out as stability, okay. So let's go here. The brother got Ecclesiastes 12:3 says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. Okay. So what we're seeing is the future is looking bleak. Okay. Because it says the keepers of the house, the economists, okay, as they see like everything is on a downtrend. Okay, because it's a controlled collapse. All right, so this economy, because the keeper into the house, goes into the economy. Because you go into economy, it goes into being the steward of a house, because you have someone that's a steward over your house, over your affairs. Well, the economy of America, the people that are stewards, okay, of the American economy, all right, they're seeing what this place is collapsing. Okay, it says, and the strong men shall bow themselves. Even people, that are used to having disposable income, definitely be humbled by this collapse. Okay, and it says, and the grinders cease, all right, which is the workforce. Okay, they're dismantling the workforce, all right, because they are few, and those that look out the windows, which you look out the windows, that's represent your foresight. You're looking ahead, all right, and it's darkened. People are very uncertain of what the future looks like. People are very uncertain, man. Government jobs, people going into, a month and a week without receiving pay. Furlough, certain jobs have just been completely, okay, eradicated. Okay, you don't know what's gonna be slashed next. So it's just uncertainty everywhere. Okay, and they want that uncertainty. Okay, so they can bring in this new system as the savior. Okay, so this is all right, what we're seeing. Okay, this is what we're seeing. All right, the grinding is ceasing. Okay, the future is looking uncertain. Okay, chaos is at the door. These things, if it keep trending like it's trending, okay, like I say, it's November the 5th, next week, them benefits don't hit, it can create a particular atmosphere, man, especially around these times when people are used, to being able to have, a little money, okay, to spend, okay, during this time of year. People want to travel, flying. There's another thing with the government shutdown. All right, the airports are chaotic. All right, and this is the time where people want to travel the most. Okay, this is the time where people want to travel the most. Okay, but now with the government shutdown, the airport is chaotic. Okay, so it's going to cause, unrest. You see, so we're just going to continue to watch these things, day for day, see how it play out. Let's get this. We can end it here. This is Brother Kazak Bunny Howard, Sirach 25:7. There be 9 things without judging my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, okay, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy, and we're seeing the devil fall, in his mind, he's doing the controlled demolition so he can establish something new, okay, but in the midst of him trying to establish something new, okay, the Lord is going to intervene, all right, and he's going to be done, so that was the point, Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters was edified. Once again, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. All right, and peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful Lake Shalom.